Tim. Tim, can you tell us a little bit about where the Future Music Coalition concept came from?
Sure. So, the show is an outgrowth of some artist activism retreats that Future Music Coalition and a group called Air Traffic Control have been hosting in New Orleans for the last couple of years. What they do is they bring musicians who are interested in working social justice causes into their art. They bring them all down to New Orleans. They introduce them to the culture there. They look at some of the devastation wrought by Katrina, which is sort of sad, but then on the positive side, they look at a whole bunch of community organizations that sprang up post-Katrina in response to the devastation. Sort of when government failed, activist groups had to step in. And so it's this really sort of visceral, telling example of what you can do with effective activism when you're forced to do it. And it's really inspiring for the musicians who are trying to figure out how to work that into their art. And every retreat ends with a big rock show where Bonarama, this great funk rock band, this 3-trombone band in New Orleans, they learn all the musicians who are coming down. They learn a couple songs by each musician. They write horn arrangements to their songs. And so we might have 10, 12 musicians down there. Everybody jumps on stage, does a couple of songs, and there's nothing like playing a song you've been playing for 10, 15, 20 years, but suddenly hearing it in a new light because now it's got this NOLA horn arrangement behind it. It's just fantastic. And so this is an attempt to bring the magic of those New Orleans shows to DC as part of the Future Music Policy Summit.
Great. And why did the Future Music Coalition decide to partner with Dear New Orleans?
So Future Music Coalition and Air Traffic Control have been, like I said, have been hosting these artist activism retreats. So the two of them wanted to do something to, I don't want to say commemorate, but they wanted to mark the 5th anniversary of Katrina some way. And so much good music has been made and so many collaborations have grown out of those artist activism retreats. We decided to just ask all the alumni. At this point, there's about 60 different artists have been down to these retreats if they'd be interested in contributing to a benefit album to sort of commemorate the 5th anniversary of Katrina and raise some money for New Orleans-based community organizations. And we didn't know how many people were going to say yes when we put out the call, but over half of the 60 artists said yes. So we ended up with this 34-track mega benefit album that we're selling for the price of a single disc. So it sort of turned into the Sandinista of benefit albums. It's like this wide array of different musical styles. It's more music than you can listen to in a night, and if you can return to it over and over again, you can always find something new. So I've been involved in a lot of things over my 20 years in the music business, but this is easily one of the things I'm most proud of.
Where can you purchase the soundtrack?
If you go to www.dearno.la, so Dear NOLA, you can buy the album there, but you can also find it in just about any major online retailer. It's in iTunes, it's in Rhapsody, it's in eMusic, it's everywhere.
Oh, okay. Great. I'll probably go do that myself. But one last thing before I have you go is how exactly did the organization choose the bands for tonight?
Well, the way we chose the bands for tonight was pretty much a question of who was going to be in DC at the time. A lot of the musicians who are performing today, myself included, were panelists during the Future Music Policy Summit. Others just happened to be passing through town on tours. Some of the guest artists who are jumping on stage were contractually prohibited from announcing who they are because they're playing other shows across town. But pretty much everybody who's been to one of these retreats is so dedicated to the cause. If you ask them to participate, they will jump in a cab after their show across town and race over here to jump on stage and just do one song with Bonarama.
How many bands are here tonight?
I think there are 10 guest performers.
Do you know some of their names?
Yes. So Bonarama is sort of the house band. Timothy Bracey, who used to be in a band called the Mendoza Line, is here. Rebecca Gates, who used to be in the Spinanes, is here. Erin McKeown is going to be jumping on stage. Jill Sabule is one of our unannounced special guests. She'll be jumping on later tonight. Damien Kulash from OK Go is here. Jenny Toomey, who hasn't performed in many, many years, is going to be jumping on stage. And myself and my partner Jay, we used to be in a band called Too Much Joy, and now we got a project called Wonderlick. We're going to do some Wonderlick songs and some Too Much Joy songs, and maybe a Clash cover if things go well.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for talking with me.
My pleasure.